Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your podcast host here at Action Coach. And today I have Casey Chhipwadia, founder and CEO of Athlete Foundry. Today he is going to share all about his business, what it's like to be in business ownership, and all that goes along with that. If you are new to our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we launch episodes like this one. So welcome, Casey. It is nice to have you. I'd love to hear a little bit about you and your backstory as well as your business.
Excellent. Thank you, Kay. It's an honor to be here. Excited to share about Athlete Foundry to Greater Austin and hopefully at the end to benefit all of our fellow entrepreneurs in Austin, but also I think families across Austin that can benefit from Athlete Foundry. So where would you like me to start?
Well, I would love to learn a bit about you and then, yeah, a brief overview of what the business is.
Yeah, my let's see, how many hours do we have? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I'll keep it short because it's probably pretty boring. But I never actually thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. That was not my vision, my dream since I was a child. I was, in fact, I would say anti-entrepreneurship when I was a kid because I didn't know what I didn't know, and we had a certain vision of entrepreneurship. Where I grew up in San Francisco was a little different than what it is today in terms of tech entrepreneurship. So my dream was to be an astronaut since I was 6 years old, and I worked, everything I can do, every breath, every action, every decision was always grounded by how does that help me get to where I need to get to. And believe it or not, there's no roadmap to even today. It doesn't exist. No one's asking for a magic pill of success, not a guarantee, but a path that is now put the ownership on the individual to execute that journey. There is no path. So I created my own. Got very, very close. So I spent 20 years at NASA as an engineer at Johnson Space Center in Houston. Very, very privileged to be part of the space shuttle program, and got very, very close to becoming an astronaut. I got just grateful to made it to the final round of interviews in 2012. Didn't make it. Of course, I don't think I'll be talking to you today, but you never know. So I didn't make it, but that fired me up in such a powerful way to rechannel my frustration, my anger at the time. Um, all this research I had done, I was able to now peek behind the curtain in my interview process to say, hey, is that real? Is that not real? And great people. They're great friends of mine still. The astronauts are friends of mine. Um, but I discovered the process was outdated, irrelevant, antiquated, and it hadn't changed in 50 years, 5 decades.
Mm.
Any kind, it's really an HR process on steroids. So if you think of any HR process that doesn't evolve with society and time, becomes irrelevant quickly. Well, the only place you get away with it is the government, which they do, unfortunately. So
True.
I had to channel that frustration to achieve something different and bigger than myself. I've always been a person of service. NASA, 20 years. I'm 25 now years into the United States Navy in the reserve, active reserve. Couple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan that really kind of changed fundamentally my life and the path of my journey to Athlete Foundry. But I basically had to connect some dots that led me to Athlete Foundry in my head as some life changing events that I experienced in Iraq and Afghanistan made me rethink about my future. And um, having come close to not coming home many times, um, and the thought of not walking my daughters down the aisle just made me realize, one, how grateful every moment is, of course, but also what is that bigger thing that I need to accomplish that can impact society at large. And I believe I have value to provide to society. I was put on an earth for a purpose. I believe it. I thought it was being an astronaut, and someone told me bigger that maybe that's not the case. So um, I had to connect the dots of number one, three dots. One dot was my passion, my compassion to work with kids. I've always enjoyed working with kids, whether my NASA or my Navy hat. I've talked to lots of middle school, elementary, high school kids, and it's amazing, Kay, that even today, kids still say, "Oh, Casey, I can't do what you've done. I can't do this. I can't do that. Look at, I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I don't have the resources." They
Mhm.
self-doubt themselves so much more, right? But they need to see people that look like them to say, "Oh, that guy's just a regular dude. He can do it and I can do it." but we all need help, right? No one can really do this alone, and we need help, and we need that village, if you will. So the compassion to help kids is deep in me, to help them achieve their full life potential. Number two was my passion to work with groups like the military, because that's my background, and I love those people that come together for a greater purpose that's beyond themselves, and they put hard work into it. So how
Mhm.
do I connect those two? And that's my third dot, which was, after lots of reflection, I realized the closest civilian counterparts to the military are athletes. Team vision, passion, focus. They come together for a greater purpose. They incredible hard work. So it was that aha moment and realized that's it. It's how do I, my NASA Navy background, I can absolutely apply that, all the education, all the learning, the strategizing, the thinking into this platform that will help and inspire student athletes, specifically kids, um, that are trying to achieve this thing called playing in collegiate athletics. So what does Athlete Foundry do? We provide a 6th through 12th grade comprehensive roadmap that lets every student athlete and their parent build their most comprehensive athumedemic resume, which is our made up word of athletic, human, and academic, the three pillars that define every kid to be wholeness. It's about holistic development. We're not just focused on athletics, we're focused on the whole person to do two things. One, improve their odds to be a collegiate athlete. There's over 1,900 universities across America with an athletic program. I am convinced if they put the hard work in, there's a spot for them somewhere between Division One down to junior college. And number two, ultimately, really underneath the hood of Athlete Foundry, is helping them prepare for life after sports. Be a productive citizen. We're not about pro athletics. We're about helping these amazing kids that have so much capability and capacity enter the workforce in a much more productive way. But you know what that takes? That takes planning, and that takes making right decisions years in advance. And as we know, we're humans. One, we're lazy generally, and we don't like to plan. We don't like
Mhm.
to put into motion. So we talk a lot about planning, but we don't put into motion. And what I've heard, one more piece, and I'll get ready for the next question, Case, which is, we've done deep research across college coaches, high school coaches, parents, student athletes, hundreds of research, college athletes, and we've discovered so many myths, so many misconceptions, so many um, um, uh, poor decision making along the way, where they come to the very last day of college and they go, I'm about to graduate. What do I do now? I didn't
Mm,
think about this. I can tell you, if I had a dime every time I heard that, I'd have a million dimes. It was
mm,
such a common phrase. And what that does is the kid now is disappointed and deflated because they don't know what to do after they enter the workforce, because they didn't make those right decisions and thinking early. It's
mhm.
all doable if you break the problem into small parts and you design it out over multiple years. It is very achievable, and that's what we do.
Wow, what an incredible story. That I mean, I'm already just like fired up for what you're doing, and also thank you for your service.
Thank you.
What a story. That is incredible. And I just love to deep dive into your business and what it's like because it just sounds super cool. Something as a kid I would have absolutely loved. I was a gymnast and I would have loved to
Ah,
see how I could have advanced that. So programs like yours are really going to be helping kids accelerate and be a well-rounded person. So, yeah, I'd like to dive in right away and see, like, what does your day to day look like as the founder of this? What does that look like for you? Are you working in the business, on the business, a bit of both? What's up?
yeah. Great question. And there's always that ideal answer and what's the realistic answer. And the realistic answer is a bit of both. Certainly, we're still early stage, even though we're 8 years since I started Athlete Foundry, but back then it was early ideation. It was really doing market research. Took a couple of years to really figure out the path on the tech side,
Yeah.
and then the struggles of the tech side. Of course, we launched right before COVID, which is perfect timing, and then really needed to persevere through the last the three painful years that we all went through,
Mhm.
to survive, and we did. But it allowed my time was focused on, or is focused on, both working on and in the business, and really hyper focused right now on the using a unique strategy of growth through partnerships,
Mhm.
which is what we've been doing across America. We partner, that was determined to be our path to any chance of a success, because B2C business is incredibly resource intensive, very tough to do. If you think of Grammarly, you think of any of the other kind of businesses, you now we see their ads, but when they first started, there was no advertising and informing and marketing at the individual level. It's just not scalable. It takes a lot of money today with so much noise on social media. How do you drown that out? If you got to pour money, unfortunately, to get the eyeballs. And so B2C is a strategy, but I'm convinced through my research that it is a late stage strategy, not an early stage. And so our early stage is using partnerships to offer our platform to the kids and the families that they serve. So we have three very innovative approaches to the growth strategy. One is the first two are probably not surprising. One is we partner with K through 12 school districts across America to offer our platform to all their families. Number two is we partner with sports clubs, travel teams across America to offer our platform. But the third is actually even more exciting, and that is thinking outside the box. I failed to mention earlier that we are not a recruiter. Our closest competitors are the recruiters, because guess what? No one actually does what we do. We are really the first of its kind, because we sit at the intersection of athletics and academics, and you're
Right.
either a recruiter or you're nothing else. And so we tend to often have to explain to individuals why we're not a recruiter, because their first conclusion is, oh, you must be a recruiter, and they kind
Mhm.
of give us the snake eye look,
Mhm.
because it's the reputations are not the best,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So we have to kind of convince them, hey, we're not that. We're actually an ed tech company, education technology company, that puts us down a different path of the NCAA rules, that opens and frees our hands to do so much more and exciting things. So our third category of partnerships is really any business in America, any organization, literally, that has employees that are parents that have kids that are student athletes. And guess what? That's every company across America. So, we partner with the largest police union in California, all police officers. We partner with the Wounded Warrior Project, near and dear
Mm.
to my heart. We've just partnered with Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Um, uh, there's a few additional ones that sort of the outside the box thinking of any organization that says, I don't really care how I get to parents. I just need to get to parents. And so
Yeah.
the old model is the school districts and the club teams. And that's where pretty much our recruiters play around with.
Mhm.
But it's crowded. And so where can I go where, hey, there's no one really at the door. I can just walk right in. And that's what we discovered was we open up the aperture and partner with any organization across America. And I'd love to talk a little bit more about, that opportunity in Austin.
Wow, that is incredible. Like, I just love how you've turned, the pain points of like B2C and like turn to partnerships to help, grow. And I think that's so important. That's something that people can, as business owners, can tap into the power of partnerships, the power of
Mm.
let's collaborate, put two heads together kind of mindset. So I think that's really awesome, which leads me perfectly into marketing because you've got something really cool you're working on. I'm very curious to how you're marketing that, what you found in success with your marketing, and what are your kind of your go-to strategies?
Yeah, so thank you. I would say we're still learning as we go. We're always wanting to figure out what next strategy we can use in marketing, because we're still in early stages. We're really less focused on um, the traditional advertising concepts, which are there, whether it's Facebook, any social media platform, newspapers, billboards, you name it. Those are there. We've discovered that it's less return on investment right now for me if I spend funds and money in that marketing at the moment. Where I can really produce return on investment is when I focus on partnership growth through individual research, reaching out to large organizations individually in their leadership, but also asking our current partners to refer one or two or three additional organizations that are like theirs that can benefit from Athlete Foundry. And so we've got several partners just from connections of existing partners to refer. And it's sort of a little bit of that wildfire effect that hopefully is that it'll catch on. We just need one more partner, each partner to give one extra. Well, that automatically doubles. And then we get one more. And that's the idea. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but but it's important. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll add that we also took another sort of leap of faith decision because we are a for-profit with a social cause company.
Hmm. Okay.
Is I am personally, because of my personal background of commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, um, given the challenges that I had gone through in growing up with racism and so forth, and all the things that I'm passionate about, to know that there are lots of kids across America that need to be lifted and helped. And so we've decided as a company that every year we give roughly 10 partnerships for free. So
Mm.
basically, unlimited software subscriptions to our premium platform to 10 partners. They can for a turn forever. So this year, next year, 5 years from now, etc. So we are halfway through that personal goal that we have as a company, and we're open to five more organizations. We just partnered with FC Westlake, which is a local youth soccer organization. We're so excited. We launched them about a month ago or 2 months ago, I think. But we have five more. So for any listeners out there, organizations that are forward leaning and thinking, I promise there's no catches, no hooks. My ironclad promise. We would love to share with you that opportunity if you want to be one of those five partners of any kind of organization across Austin.
Wow, that is incredible too. I love the give mindset you have. It sounds like you're just reaching so many kids. And I'd love to dive into kind of what do you have in store for us for the next 3 to 5 years with your business?
I love that's a great question because I love I think most CEOs love to vision,
Mhm.
to share that vision, because we have a big appetite, of course. Hey, I'm going to take over the world.
I see it every
um,
day.
it is. So our path is actually pretty exciting. We have a couple of interesting, very exciting ideas for the next, quite frankly, not just 3 to 5 years, probably the next 2 years ish. One is we've been contacted by some leaders in the adaptive sports world. So if you think about NCAA, does not have does not have any handicap adaptive sports officially in NCAA name sports. Why is that? That absolutely is actually quite boggling. It makes it like, why would there not be the case? There are large travel teams in America for wheelchair basketball, you name it. There's a couple additional lists that goes on. There's ice hockey, that are passionate families who have, the amount of sadly of disabled kids is large,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't discount them. They have the same fight, they have the same vigor. So I'm excited to hear from our contacts that NCAA is actually rethinking. So they potentially will be introducing, and we want to be positioned correctly to support those kids across America, to give them a roadmap to play adaptive sports in college. So that's an exciting area where it's in our horizon, is
Mhm.
to evolve the platform to accommodate adaptive sports. We also have an exciting path to help um, overseas kids. Particularly, we have about 80,000 U.S. kids that are stationed overseas with their families,
Mhm.
but within the DoD system, the academic is very strong, but their athletic is struggling. They do their best, but they just have challenges because they don't have the American system, unfortunately. So
Mhm.
I'm passionate about helping those kids who are sacrificing because they have to, not because they want
Mhm.
to give them a path through the American athletic system, as well as international student athletes who have. There's a large demand signal that continues kids that want to play in America. but there's no one that really kind of helps them with that path and journey. So those are a couple of things that I'm comfortable, sharing out loud here.
Wow, it's so fun to hear your trajectory, what you're working on, and the passion you have. This has been an incredible interview so far, and I'm so excited to dive into our rapid fire questions. And this is where you answer top of mind. It's a few questions just to kind of think about entrepreneurship and share with our audience. So, are you ready for some rapid fire?
I'm always ready.
Oh, well, question number one. What is a key to success for you?
uh, uh, Micro habits and micro actions.
Hmm. And what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
In fact, I would say go back to answer one, and that is micro habits and micro actions. And that really, the unpacking that is there's so many things that we want to do every day, but focus is
Hmm.
so important, to remove distractions. And it's about those wins, those small wins every day. What am I winning today because I did this, this, and this, and I'll take those victories every day. Eventually, it'll lead me to the big victory. So I have to be more patient, because the CEOs, I'm not patient, um, because I want the big kahuna already. But we have to be patient. I have to be patient to ensure that we continue to make progress every day. And the only way I can make progress, because if I don't, I'm dead. Basically, I have to make progress. We have to move forward, and that is through small victories every single day of simple actions, simple tasks, whatever they may be for the business owner. What are those things that you feel that you want to get done today, and go knock them out and get them done?
That is great advice, especially for those visionaries out there.
Yeah, indeed.
Me too. Another, okay, so what is a book or piece of content, something, it could be a podcast, anything that you have taken in most recently?
I love reading. I'm uh, don't do as much as I need to, but I love reading, and so I balance myself between military books, leadership books, and then just other inspirational kind of books. It's kind of three main categories, and the most recent one that I'm reading actually is, it's been on my list for a while, and I finally got a chance to read it. It's not an easy read. Is actually a collection of President Lincoln's letters.
Ooh.
It is very he's my favorite president in history, and
Mhm.
um, uh, just the way that he articulates language, in to convey tough topics, sorrow for families who lost their loved ones. Just the way that he writes, I find it inspiring to me, because it's an opportunity for me to learn how I can communicate better, using different language. So I'm a big fan of Lincoln, and so I'm excited to read his letters.
Wow, that's incredible. And our final question is, if you could rapidly improve one aspect of your business overnight, what would it be?
Whew. Wow. uh, it would. Wow. Let's see. Has a list of things that come to mind of what they should be. The one thing would be awareness,
Mhm.
of what we do, because we aren't pouring in the marketing dollars right now. It is about awareness to the community of what we're offering and why we are different. And so I would say awareness, and there's how to achieve awareness. Of course, there's many different ways to achieve awareness, but that would be the one thing that I would love to sort of move the needle on, is awareness. So yes, that's it.
Well, this is the perfect time to plug your contact info. So, that was our rapid fire. So, yeah, how can people find you? Drop your contact info.
Yeah, thank you. And easy. So for me personally, it's casey@athletefoundry.com. Please feel free to directly email me. I'd love to receive feedback and inputs. You can also contact our support team at support@athletefoundry.com if you're interested in one of the 5 partnership slots that we would love to give and gift you in perpetuity forever. And no questions asked. Of course, this is a tremendous value to our citizens across Austin. So if you're one of those 5 forward-leaning, forward-thinking leaders, please reach out to either me directly or my support team, and we'll begin that journey. Also, I'd love to connect on LinkedIn, so please reach out to me on LinkedIn, and let's connect.
Well, thank you so much, Casey. This has been a great conversation. For our final question of today, what is most inspiring to you today?
Most inspiring to me today is the um, the amazing capability that kids don't know that they have, and it takes every day to remind and tell them uh, that they do have an incredible capacity inside of them. Um, but there's no magic pill to success. You got to put the hard work in, and to partner with them, particularly my kids, is what I do every single day. We have a um, a huge white poster on our wall, we put together for the family, that puts us all in a helps us all be accountable to each other. We listed our goals, and we listed for the summer, and we're going to mark our progress day by day. Are we winning today? Are we winning today is the big question. And so that inspires me, is to find ways to inspire my kids, and by definition, it's connected to Athlete Foundry.
Well, Casey, thanks again for this great conversation. It was an absolute joy to talk with you today. So thanks again.
That's my honor, and I'm so excited for more to come. Thank you, Kay.